Welcome to Let's Thrive Postpartum, where we tackle postpartum depression and anxiety head on, guiding you back to yourself. Join Kelly Siebold, founder of Thrive Postpartum, and Ashley Moore, a maternal mental health therapist. Through honesty and laughter, we share expert advice and real stories. While not therapy or medical advice, you'll find education, support, and hope. Welcome to the village. Let's thrive postpartum.
Welcome back to Let's Thrive Postpartum. I'm Kelly Siebold.
And I'm Ashley Moore.
And today we are talking with Amber Weakley. She is the program coordinator for support services for Postpartum Support Charleston. They are a local Charleston, South Carolina-based nonprofit that helps women with postpartum depression and anxiety, and they are making a huge difference to the community down here. Amber said her life's mission is to help other moms, and I love that. And I can't wait for us to talk through all the amazing things that she's going to share about what they are doing, but also tips that she is seeing that moms constantly come to them needing help with and what has really been helpful.
Yeah. I know. I think it's going to be a really great conversation. Before we dive in, Kelly, I got a question for you, though.
Yes, ma'am.
Where's your happiness coming from this week?
Oh, it's a great question. So we do talk about, serious things on here and not always happy thoughts. And this is embarrassing to say. I mean, I think if I share way embarrassing things on here, it's just what life is. But so my happiness this week comes from this past weekend. So this weekend, my childhood best friend came down to see me, brought her children. I love them. I'm Aunt Kelly. They're my favorite people. And that's my happiness. But let me tell you what my real happiness is. And she's going to know this, is she brought me down soda or pop or whatever you call it in your part of the country. That is specific to my hometown where I grew up. And if you're watching us on video, I'm from this little small town outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. It's called Gastonia, Belmont. I kind of claim both of them. And so my happiness this week comes in a can because I only get it, once a year or so. And last time I had my husband hide one in the house for me. So when I had a really bad day, he could pull it out and he did. And I searched the house for it. Couldn't find it. It's a problem. And it's the best stuff in the world. So Cherry Lemon Sundrop, if you'd like to sponsor this podcast, let me know.
That's so funny. My husband, also slight embarrassing admission sometimes, he will keep a box somewhere hidden of Kraft macaroni and cheese.
I love that.
For when I'm having a really bad day. And sometimes I really just love Kraft macaroni and cheese. So he keeps one hidden. I keep chocolate hidden for him. I have like a hidden stash to where when those days when he's like, oh my gosh, there's nothing left in the house, I'm like, ta-da.
And it's the best, isn't it? One day I was having a bad day at my old job and I was on the verge of tears and he just showed up and set a can out of the blue in front of me and I cried from happiness. It's those little things.
It's just the little things. I know. Moms out there, if you're listening, think of what your little thing is. And even if you hide it for yourself, you're going to forget where it is. Trust me, because we forget things all the time. Go hide something of your favorite thing in a random place. And I tell you what, the day that you find it, it's probably going to be one of the happiest days of your life.
It is, because we talk about big happiness, like big things happening, but it's those small little things every day, those little glimmers that just bring us hope. Oh, it's the best.
Yep. I know.
So Ashley,
it really is the best.
What's your happiness day? Like what's it for you?
I think this week I'm looking forward. Tomorrow I'm going to go buy some railroad ties, reclaimed railroad ties to use in a gardening project.
I was like, what are you doing with railroad ties?
I've been wanting to do this like gardening bed project with some reclaimed railroad ties to give that a little more of like a cottagey feel for the house. It's like beat up wood. So yeah, that's what my happiness is coming from there.
Where does one find a reclaimed railroad tie? Like that, you can't buy that at Lowe's.
Actually, you can. They have a whole stack of them in the garden center.
That's so cool. Okay. I love it.
So yeah, I mean, yes, I would love to find some that are actually free because they are actual reclaimed railroad ties, but you can indeed buy them at Lowe's and Home Depot. So
that's amazing. See, moms, it really is what is going to make you happy in the moment. And it may be railroad ties.
Yep. Lemon cherry sundrop. Well, let's go ahead and dive into our conversation with Amber. I think she's going to have a lot of really great information to share, not just with local moms, but kind of just different ways for moms anywhere in the country to figure out how to connect with some more local programs that might exist.
And she had a really great idea that you're going to hear about a mom mentor and how you can look to someone who's been in your situation for help and support, even if you aren't local to Charleston. So let's go ahead and join Amber.
Hey, Amber, thank you so much for meeting with Kelly and I today and being our expert panelist.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
So you work for Postpartum Support Charleston. Can you tell us a little bit about the organization and the role that they play in supporting postpartum women?
Yeah, so Postpartum Support Charleston is a local organization here in Charleston. We serve moms in the Tri-County area, so Dorchester, Berkeley, and Charleston counties. We have been around since 2000. So the organization started in 2000. A local family here was devastated by the loss of a mother by suicide, and her name was Ruth Roden Craven. And so originally the organization was called Ruth Roden Craven Foundation. And it was small at first, right? As all organizations start out small. And they really wanted to promote what postpartum depression and anxiety was. They wanted to get the medical community educated, and they wanted to support moms. So over the years, it's grown a lot. We have developed into an organization that serves a lot more moms than we used to. We have an annual fundraiser that we do where we have 500 to 600 participants, and we have lots of wonderful programs for moms. We have support groups and any kind of resources that a mom needs. We can provide those for her.
Yes. So thank you for everything that you guys are doing to help moms in Charleston, South Carolina. If there's a mom who is listening who is postpartum and is struggling to feel like herself and she wants to reach out, how does she connect with you guys? How does she get help?
There's a couple different ways that she can get help from us. So if you go to our website, which is postpartumsupportchs.org, she can find any kind of contact information. So that's email. She can call us or text us. And then we also have a Facebook and Instagram. So if she wants to message us through one of those social media platforms, she's welcome to.
Wonderful. And we will tag Postpartum Support Charleston in all of our promotions. So if you jump on our Instagram as well, you can easily move yourself right along to them and find them for additional support.
Yeah. Amber, can you tell us a little bit how you discovered the organization and came to work with them and kind of what your connection is to working with the maternal mental health population?
Yeah, sure. So my mom is really kind of my hero in this story. Whenever anyone asks me about how I got started with all this. So before I had kids, my mom, she herself suffered with postpartum depression. And it was always just a topic of conversation. It was always, if this happens, it's not something to be terrified about. So surely enough, I had my first son, and about 5 months postpartum just really started struggling. And she was there to help connect me to Postpartum Support Charleston. And I connected with a mom mentor and got support through that avenue with Postpartum Support Charleston, and was great. I got better. And then after I had my second son, kind of the same thing started back up. I had kind of the symptoms of postpartum depression, which actually ended up being bipolar 2. And so I really struggled with my second son, and again, reached back out to Postpartum Support Charleston and actually got a grant to see a psychiatrist and a therapist. And it was life-changing for me. I don't think I probably wouldn't even be today if it wasn't for that. So I really, once I recovered and I got better, I really had a special place in my heart for moms who are struggling, because my mom had been through it and I had been through it, and I knew how lonely it was and how isolating you can feel when you're struggling, especially in a world where social media is just kind of like in your face, and this perfection is everywhere. So I really wanted to stay involved with Postpartum Support Charleston. I started volunteering to run support groups. So I started here on the island, on James Island, doing some walks with the organization, and then never left. They hired me shortly after that and started out just doing small little things. And now I'm in this, I think, really important role, helping moms every day.
Wow. That's really amazing.
It is. And I'm so glad that I think you're right. Having a mom who's a hero and having someone who says constantly, this is normal, right? If 1 in 5 moms get postpartum depression and anxiety, just knowing that up front and it being normalized is such a great thing, and something Ashley and I are hoping we can help normalize for other moms who don't have that, right? Just to let people know that this can be treated. It is okay.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
Amber, in your work, how many you had, like your mom this was like a topic of conversation, like when kind of in your house and something that you knew existed. When you're working with moms in the organization, do you find a lot of them already had a lot of prior knowledge about postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, like any of these concerns, or for most of them, are they kind of navigating through it like like as it's happening?
I would definitely say the majority of moms don't know what's going on. They know that something's not right. They know that they feel off, whether it's they're worried about every little thing or they are so sad they can't seem to get their chores done around the house. So I would definitely say the majority of moms are not aware. Some moms don't even know that postpartum depression is a thing, like, which kind of just it just makes my heart hurt because it's like it's such a thing, right? And we all know about that because we're in the world of it. But some moms, yeah, they'll say, I didn't even know it was postpartum anxiety was a thing. But then the moms who do kind of know what's going on, I think have struggled in the past and are just very much aware of their own mental health. So moms who might have started struggling during their pregnancy or even before and just are more aware of what kind of avenues there are for support and stuff like that. But yeah, I would say more don't know than do.
So if you are a mom listening and you had just mentioned that so many moms don't know what's happening, if there's a mom listening and she just doesn't feel right or she feels worried all the time, how do you help them figure out what's going on? What kind of education and advice can you provide?
Yeah, so our website is a great place to start. So we have a tab on our website that goes through all the maternal mental diagnoses. So not too much detail, but enough to know that like if you notice something that's just not right, then you can reach out. Another really great place for moms to go is our private Facebook group. It is a really wonderful place for moms to be able to post questions that they have, or even just troll the site and see what other moms are going through.
That's what I did. Just throw that out there. I'm a huge troll on their site. It's great.
Which is totally allowed. You don't have to say anything in that group. You can just be. So that's another great option. And then on our Facebook group, we do Sunday chats. So I get together with local maternal mental health therapists and other professionals in the area and talk about what it looks like to have a maternal mental illness. And we go through all kinds of different topics. And those are there on our Facebook Live. So moms can watch and they can interact if they want to as well.
That's awesome. And I know your website too, like you guys have resources about the different mom meetup groups. You have like therapist listings and that kind of thing, which is really wonderful. And for you guys, it's probably possible that there's tons of moms that go to the website and find resources and they're kind of using it in that way that you're not even necessarily like talking to on a regular basis. And so just being that resource is so helpful. What do you guys do? Like, how do people find you? Would you say like where are your like websites located or kind of information and that sort of thing in terms of like out in the community, how people discover Postpartum Support Charleston?
Yeah, so we are partnered with a couple of the hospitals in the area. And so moms will get our information sometimes through their OBGYN, sometimes when they're discharged from their hospital stay when they were delivering baby, they will get a little flyer about us. And one of our big ways to reach out to moms and kind of let them know that we're here and we're available for support is our Beyond Delivery program. So that's a program where a mom can sign up for a homemade lasagna and an infant care package, which includes diapers and wipes and stuff like that. And we bring that to her house for free. So that's been a really great program that our organization has started. And we've really been able to reach a lot of moms that way because it's not tied to therapy and it's not tied to a support group and it's not tied to anything. It's literally us just saying, we're here, we care about you, and we know that sometimes it's tough. So here's a free meal.
Which is such a great way to reach moms, right? When you're in the middle of just having a baby, recovery, all the baby blues and hormones, to have someone to show up to say, I'm here and I care about you, right to their doorstep is huge.
Yeah. Well, and then they have your information too, so that if something comes up, I think this is a great sort of just for anywhere, not only in Charleston, but like anywhere in the country where someone is pregnant or they've just had a baby, a question to kind of ask before your baby comes is like, are there any postpartum support groups in my city or in my town? Or like, what kind of Facebook pages could I join ahead of time or just think about so that that support is already in place? You know, Kelly and I talk a lot about just, trying to find the creating a plan. And so there's things you can do ahead of time. There's so many things that happen like when you're in the thick of it and you realize that stuff's going on. But one of the hardest things when you realize that something isn't going the way that you'd planned is starting from ground zero of where do I find help? Like, what do I even Google? What do I call this? What is it? So any pregnant mamas out there listening, go ahead and like ask your OBGYN or ask your friends, are there postpartum support groups? Like even just ways to connect with other new moms so that you're not having to start from like with nothing.
Which is what I did. And if you are not local to Charleston, if you are somewhere in the middle of the country that doesn't have an amazing nonprofit like Postpartum Support Charleston, check out Thrive. We've got a virtual community. Feel free to find other moms. If you don't have something local, please check us out. So Amber, you talk to moms all the time. You are kind of the front line in talking to moms who are in what we've all been through, kind of that struggle. What do you see as some of the biggest challenges? Again, if you're a mom and you're not real sure what's happening, what are the common things that you see and come across that moms are struggling with when they reach out, when they're at that point, they need to reach out?
Yeah, I think a couple of the big themes that I see that moms are struggling with, I think the first thing that pops into my mind is intrusive thoughts, because those can be really scary for a new mom. It's one thing to be sad and weepy and not be able to get your chores done and like be in that depression. But when those intrusive thoughts start coming in, where you're having these thoughts about baby and yourself and your partner and you don't want them, but you can't get rid of them, it's just life-changing, I think, for moms. And it's very scary and they're not sure what to do with it. So I think I see a lot of moms with intrusive thoughts that reach out. A lot of anxiety. I don't know, personally, I think anxiety is more common than depression because there's it's like a cliff, right? Like you're on your anxiety, you have anxiety. And then when it gets too bad, you just fall off this cliff. And it's like so hard for moms to know where that line is. And so a lot of moms struggle for a long time with anxiety and they don't know that that's what's going on. They think it's just motherhood, right? They think it's just worrying about baby. And so I see a lot of that, a lot of anxiety that sneaks up in moms and they fall off that cliff and they're like, I didn't even know this was a thing.
So it sounds like you've got a lot of moms that things get really, really hard. And that's when they reach out. Do you guys have as an organization, just thoughts on sort of those barriers to moms reaching out sooner or just in general, what do you think and providers could do more of or society or hospitals or that kind of thing? What are those barriers where it just seems like it's got to be so bad before there's moms that are reaching out saying, okay, now I'm ready. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think just talking about it, right? I think just putting it out there and letting moms know that if something doesn't feel right, then there's help. There's nothing that you've done. There's nothing that you could have done to prevent it. No one is at fault here. It's just the fact that you need a little extra support and you are not alone. Most moms need some extra support, and a mom reaching out before she's in the depths of a struggle, I think deals with a lot of shame and a lot of guilt around those feelings of not being able to, whatever it is, be the mother they thought they were going to be, or be able to provide for their partner like they thought they were going to. So I think it's a lot of those feelings of just not wanting to be a disappointment, not wanting to feel shameful about needing extra support because everything is so focused on baby that kind of gets swept under the rug. And it's hard for her to raise her hand. I'm still here. I actually do need help. So I think that's hard.
It is, and you're spot on. I mean, it really is. And I think what all of us want for moms is for that shame not to be there, for that shame to be gone, and this to be a normal conversation where for most of us, when you have a brand new baby, you go regularly to the pediatrician because they're checking on that baby. What is the regular checkup? How does the mom get support as well? Not saying it's the pediatrician's role. How as a society can we help that mom so that she's okay too? Because a lot of this can happen later in that first year. And I'm a perfect example of what you talked about. The intrusive thoughts were my bottom when I realized I had postpartum depression, I had anxiety, but it wasn't till the intrusive thoughts came that I was like, this is not normal. I didn't know it was normal. I didn't know that this is something you can go talk to someone and they can help you with. So just removing that layer of shame is such an amazing thing to do for moms. So thank you for what you continuously are doing, because it really does help all of us feel a little bit more normal in that situation and realize we're not alone.
Yeah. Amber, can you talk a little bit about that mom mentor program that you guys have? Because I find that really interesting as like kind of helping to reduce the shame a little bit, where you're just talking. It sounds like moms can talk to another mom. They're not talking to a therapist, they're not talking to a doctor. They're just talking with another person that's been through it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is and what it's meant to be. A mom can reach out to our organization and they fill out this quick little form, which literally just helps me be able to pair them with the best mom mentor for them. And that can be location, that can be what they're going through, that can be, if they're on their second baby, not their first. And a mom is able to connect with this mom mentor any way she wants. So if she just wants to text the mom mentor, that's all that they're going to do. If she wants to meet up for coffee, then that's what they're going to do. So it's really tailored exactly to what the mom needs. And sometimes you just need a quick phone call with another mom to say, you're not alone. I get you. And that's all you need. And that's fine to have a mom mentor that's just a one-off. I still have best friends to this day that I was a mentor for. So you can really build friendships through it. It's a great program because it's, like you said, you're not talking to a professional. You're not talking to anyone who's going to, make a note in your chart about anything. And it's not a group. Some moms are a little weary of going to a group setting and like having to spill the beans in front of all these other moms. Like that can be really overwhelming for some moms. So we want to provide a way for them to have just this one-on-one connection. So I think it's an amazing program. We've been doing it for, over 10 years. So we have about 15 or more mom mentors right now. So plenty. So if anyone listening needs a mom mentor, you're not burdening anybody, please reach out. We would love to pair you.
That's wonderful. And that could even be applied to someone who's not in the Charleston area. So if you're a mom and you're struggling, maybe reaching out, Amber, what do you recommend? Reaching out to a colleague or a friend or someone and asking for that same type of relationship?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so this goes back to like making friends after you're a mom. It can be so awkward, but going up to somebody, that has a baby that's maybe the same age as yours, or maybe not, maybe meeting somebody at the playground who's got older kids and talking about what's going on. You're not going to scare anybody. Most moms are open about talking about their mental health. So I think it surprises moms sometimes when even in groups, when they start talking about what's going on and they're like, oh, wait, you know about this? And like this happened to you too. And like they really connect. So yeah, reaching out to somebody could be a friend's mom, a grandmother or something, because they get it too. So, and if you are in another place, I know that Postpartum Support International has a mom mentor program as well that's can do from anywhere. So
yeah, it's so funny. It goes back to, why does it feel so hard to just say sometimes like, gosh, being a mother is really hard. We seem to be able to say that everything else in life is really hard. Going on a diet's hard. Going to work is hard. Like doing all these things is hard. But when it comes to motherhood, that seems to be the thing people are so reluctant to say is hard, even though it's fair to say motherhood, parenthood in general is probably the hardest thing anybody has to do.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm.
What advice, Amber, if you've got any advice based on your experience with Postpartum Support Charleston, the schooling that you're doing, what would your advice be to a mom who is struggling right now? Or what do you wish you would have known?
I think my advice for a mom who is struggling, first off, would be to reach out. Like, don't do it alone. If you're struggling, if you're having a bad day, like there's somebody you can call. You can call us, call a friend, I even reached out to my stepdad one time and I didn't even like him at the time, but it was just somebody that I could talk to and I could like just get the feelings off my chest and just know that I wasn't alone because I think having a mental illness can feel very lonely, but having a mental illness when you're a mom is like tenfold because you're at home with his baby alone sometimes. And so definitely reaching out for help and putting all of that guilt and shame in your back pocket for a second and kind of putting that aside and thinking like, what do I need here in this moment? And I promise reaching out is going to make you feel a little bit better.
Absolutely agree.
I love that question. What do I need?
Yeah, because we think about what baby needs all the time and we think about what our other kids need and what our partner needs. And sometimes it's hard to like slow down and maybe having a conversation even with the person that you're reaching out to about like, I'm not really sure what I need and bouncing ideas off of them. Like, do you need a break from baby? Maybe not. Do you need a meal brought to you? Do you need to go to Starbucks and then the plant store to buy a plant? That was my thing. What do you need in that moment as a new mom? Because Your needs are just as important as your baby's.
They are. And I think you said something really important earlier about that mom mentor and having that connection. All three of us live in a city that is rapidly growing. So the majority of moms are not from here and do not have a well-established village or a community that we all hear growing up we should have. And so when you live somewhere where you don't know people, having someone to reach out, making those connections, talking to moms at playground or anywhere is so key because you tend to not have that community in your hometown that you may have grown up in. And really finding a community like Postpartum Support Charleston can help so much.
Yeah, absolutely. It can be really lonely when you don't have family around, when you don't have friends, when you just know nobody and you think that like you're doing it all alone in this big city, but you don't have to be doing it alone. We're here to help support you.
We love that you guys are here and doing this and helping so many moms. It makes such a difference. And thank you for the work that Postpartum Support Charleston is doing, but also the work that you're doing, Amber, in it every day, letting people like me lurk on social media pages and see stuff and not have to engage, but to get that feeling that even as a lurker, I'm not alone. It makes all the difference.
Yeah, I know, especially anyone listening that's in Charleston. If you yourself, a friend, coworker, anyone who you think, please, it's just, I think I look at it now as a mom who's gone through postpartum anxiety as part of my role now is to just say like, hey, here's some resources. Like, yes, I'm a therapist myself. I'd like to take that hat off as often as I can and just say like, there's so many ways to get connected with people out there. And like you said, Amber, just talking with someone, just being able to say like, oh my gosh, this is what happened today can make a huge difference. And you guys are there to be able to provide those connections. People don't have to find those connections completely on their own. So it's okay to lean on the supports and resources that are there. You guys are doing a wonderful job.
You are. Thank you. Amber, is there anything we haven't asked you? Anything that you want to plug that's upcoming for Postpartum Support Charleston? Anything that you'd want to share that we haven't brought up yet?
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about, the full spectrum of what we do with Postpartum Support Charleston. And I just want to reiterate that like anyone who's listening, if you've got any concern or you just want to like meet some new friends or just like be a part of a community of moms where like there's no judgment and we're just like coming as we are, just reach out. Like we're here. Like when you text or you call Postpartum Support Charleston, you will come to me. So it's not going to be some person that you don't know. Like I'm here. I got you.
Wonderful. Yeah. And I know you guys have some awesome groups and everything, like different support groups and fun things. So there's I really think something for everybody.
There really is. I mean, we've got everything from a garden group to a group that meets on the beach to a walking group to virtual groups. Like we've got it all. And if we don't have it and you need it, let me know. And it's probably something you can put on the calendar.
I love it. And we will include links to everything that Amber has mentioned. So jump into the podcast notes. It will all be there so that you can easily find her, reach out to Postpartum Support Charleston. And if you're not local, there's still a great resource to watch some of their virtual events and hopefully reach out to some other groups in your area or us at Thrive. Amber, thank you so very much for jumping on, sharing what you do, sharing how you help moms. We really appreciate this and everything you guys are doing.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Big thank you to Amber from Postpartum Support Charleston for joining us today. I think she shared some wonderful information about how her organization is serving and helping women here in Charleston, South Carolina, but also some great ideas about how women across the country could get connected in the same way. What do you think, Kelly?
Agree. Again, they're such a great organization, and we are really lucky that we have something like that in Charleston. They do have lots kind of, similar ones throughout the country. But if you are not local, to Charleston, if you are, somewhere in Ohio or across the country or even internationally, look for a group similar. If not, come check us out at Thrive Postpartum. We have the same kind of drop-in support groups, the community, the education. We can be your community. We would love to. So please check us out. We'd love to kind of help you. And if you are local, we really recommend checking out Postpartum Support and some of their services as well. Also, I loved her tip for a mom mentor. That would have been great to have back in the day.
I know. And it's just such a wonderful idea that I don't think a lot of moms think of, but it's a much easier way to talk to somebody instead of reaching out. You're not talking to your doctor, you're not talking to your therapist. If you're not, that's not something you're ready for, but just being able to connect with another mom. Like she said, they match people based on what's going on, what your experience is, so that you're able to talk to somebody that's been through what you're feeling and when I tell you the feeling of relief that comes when you find somebody that's like, oh my gosh, yeah, I've been through that too. It just is like a weight has been lifted off of your shoulders.
It is. And I think when she was talking to us, it hit home because both of us have been there, right? We both felt it. We both needed that support. We want to be your support as well. I think all of our goal is the same after going through this. There shouldn't be shame around this. It's a very normal part of motherhood. And we don't want you to feel sad or embarrassed or shameful or anything to be feeling this way, because we've done it. We've all been there. And it was kind of life-changing for each of us, how we all kind of got involved in different aspects of how do we help other moms. So this is normal. And we want you to know that you have a community, whatever way that you find that community, we're here for you.
Yep. I agree.
Amber, thank you for talking with us. Thank you to Postpartum Support Charleston for all that we're doing. Ashley, thank you for being here this week and for all the moms listening. And we will see you next episode.
See you next time, Kelly.
Thanks.
If you enjoyed this episode and found it helpful, please be sure to hit subscribe, leave us your feedback, and give us a 5-star review. For even more support, visit us at wethrivepostpartum.com/podcast to sign up for our newsletter and learn more about our community. Remember, you are not alone. With support, you can feel better. Together, let's thrive postpartum.